What if you could wake up tomorrow morning and that familiar heavy feeling in the pit of your stomach simply wasn't there? That knot of anxiety about the day ahead, the endless list of tasks, the presentation you're dreading, the difficult conversation you've been putting off. What if instead you felt a sense of calm, a quiet confidence that you could handle whatever the day throws at you? Or picture this, you're in the middle of a chaotic workday. Emails are flooding in, each one marked urgent. Your phone is buzzing incessantly. A colleague just dropped a problem on your desk that isn't your fault, but is now your responsibility. In that moment, instead of the usual surge of stress, that feeling of being completely overwhelmed, you feel a sense of space, a quiet stillness inside, allowing you to look at the chaos as if you were the calm eye of a storm. You can think clearly, prioritize, and act effectively without being emotionally hijacked. Does that sound like a superpower? Like something reserved for monks on a distant mountaintop? For many of us, especially as we navigate our 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, and beyond, these scenarios feel like a fantasy. The pressures of midlife are very real. There's the career we've built, which often comes with greater responsibility and greater stress. There are our families, children, growing up and needing us in new ways, aging parents who now need our care. There are financial worries, health concerns, and that quiet nagging question that often surfaces in the dead of night. Am I on the right path? Is this all there is? We feel like we're being pulled in a dozen different directions at once, and the person who gets lost in the shuffle is often ourselves. We find ourselves reacting to everything, our peace of mind held hostage by the next email, the next phone call, the next piece of bad news. If any of this resonates with you, I want you to know you are not alone. And more importantly, I want to share with you a timeless, practical, and incredibly powerful framework for navigating this exact kind of pressure. It's a philosophy that was forged in the fires of the Roman Empire, practiced by emperors, playwrights, merchants, and soldiers alike. It's called Stoicism. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Philosophy, isn't that for academics in tweed jackets? I felt the same way. The word Stoic itself often conjures up an image of someone emotionless who represses their feelings and endures hardship with a stiff upper lip. But that's a modern misunderstanding. True Stoicism isn't about becoming a robot. It's about becoming resilient. It's not about erasing your emotions, but about preventing them from controlling you. It's a practical toolkit for the mind, an operating system for thriving in a world full of challenges. At its very core lies one simple yet life-altering idea. It comes from a former slave who became one of Rome's most revered teachers, a man named Epictetus. He taught that the chief task in life is to understand and separate matters into two categories, those which are within our control and those which are not. Think about that for a second. What is truly within your control? Your thoughts, your judgments, your choices, your actions, your character. That's it. That's the list. Now, what's not in your control? Well, almost everything else. The weather, the economy, how other people behave, what they think of you, your health in the grand scheme of things, the past, the future, traffic, a flight delay. The Stoics argued that the vast majority of our stress, our anger, our anxiety, and our suffering comes from a simple mistake. We tie our peace of mind to things outside of our control. We get angry about the traffic because we think it should be clear. We get anxious about a presentation because we're desperate for our boss's approval. We get frustrated when a family member doesn't take our advice. In each case, we're fighting against reality. We are, as the Stoic philosopher Seneca put it, suffering more in imagination than in reality. The Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius, perhaps the most famous Stoic, wrote a private journal for himself while leading military campaigns. We know it today as Meditations. It wasn't meant for publication. It was his personal guide to applying these principles in the high-stakes world of politics and war. He constantly reminded himself, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. This isn't just an abstract idea. It's a diagnostic tool you can use every single day. The next time you feel a negative emotion rising, be it stress, anger, or fear, you can pause and ask yourself a simple question. Is the cause of this feeling something that is within my control or outside of it? If your flight is cancelled, that's outside your control. Fretting and fuming won't make the plane reappear. Your response, however, how you choose to use that extra time, how you speak to the airline staff, the attitude you adopt, that is entirely within your control. If a colleague is being difficult, their behavior is outside your control. But your professionalism, your patience, your decision not to escalate the situation that is yours alone. This single shift in perspective is the foundation of everything we're going to talk about. It is the key that unlocks the door to what the Stoics called tranquility or ataraxia, a state of inner calm and unshakable peace, not because the world around you has become perfect, but because you have learned to focus your energy exclusively on what you can actually influence your own mind. It's about building an inner fortress, a citadel of peace that external events cannot breach. This might sound simple, and it is, but simple is not the same as easy. It takes practice, it takes training, it's like building a muscle. You wouldn't expect to go to the gym once and be strong for life. In the same way, we need to train our minds day after day to see the world through this lens. And that's exactly what we'll be exploring together. Now that we've laid this crucial foundation, this idea of separating what we can control from what we can't, how do we start to put it into practice? How do we turn this philosophical concept into a set of tangible daily exercises that can genuinely reduce the pressure we feel at work and in our lives? In the next part, we will move from the what to the how, exploring the first set of practical Stoic exercises you can begin using today to start building that inner fortress. We'll learn how to transform our perspective and find stillness even when the world outside is anything but still. Welcome back. In the first part, we introduced the foundational idea of Stoicism, the simple yet profound difference between what we can control and what we cannot. We talked about how so much of our anxiety stems from trying to control the uncontrollable. Now, as promised, we're going to move from theory into practice. Because philosophy is useless if it stays on the page, it has to be lived. The Stoics were all about action. So let's explore some of the mental exercises, the training techniques they used to build their inner resilience. Think of these as the mental equivalent of going to the gym. The first and one of the most powerful is an exercise in perspective. It's often called the view from above. I'd like you to try it with me now if you're in a place where you can safely close your eyes for a moment. If not, just follow along in your mind. Imagine yourself sitting or standing right where you are. Now in your mind's eye, begin to float upwards. See the room you're in from above. Float higher and see the entire building. Rise higher still and see your neighborhood, your city, stretching out below like a map. See the cars like tiny insects, the people like ants. Keep rising. See your entire country, the continent, the curve of the earth, becoming visible. See the oceans and the swirling clouds. Float further and further away until our beautiful blue planet is just a marble suspended in the vast silent darkness of space. See the sun, a star like countless others. See our solar system and then pull back further to see our galaxy, the Milky Way, a breathtaking spiral of 100 billion stars. And then realize that our galaxy is just one of billions, perhaps trillions, of galaxies in an ever-expanding universe. Now, from this cosmic perspective, I want you to gently bring your awareness back to that one galaxy, that one star, that one tiny blue planet. And on that planet, in that country, in that city, in that room, is you. And with you is your problem, that stressful project at work, that argument you had, that worry about the future. From this vantage point, how big does that problem seem? This exercise, which Marcus Aurelius practiced regularly, is not meant to belittle our problems or to suggest they aren't real. They are. But it does put them into their proper context. So often, our anxieties consume our entire field of vision. A difficult email can feel like the end of the world. The view from above shrinks the problem down to its actual size. It creates mental and emotional space, allowing us to breathe and to approach the issue with more calm, more reason, and less panic. It reminds us that life and the universe is so much bigger than our immediate troubles. It's a powerful antidote to feeling overwhelmed. The next exercise is at first a bit counterintuitive. The Stoics called it premeditatio malorum, which translates to the premeditation of evils, or more simply, negative visualization. Now this sounds pessimistic, doesn't it? Why would we want to think about things going wrong? But the Stoics were realists. They understood that life is unpredictable. We will lose jobs, we will get sick, we will lose people we love. These things are part of the human experience. The Stoic approach isn't to live in fear of them, but to be prepared for them, and in doing so, to appreciate what we have right now in this very moment. Seneca recommended that we should regularly take a few days to practice poverty. To eat the plainest food, wear the simplest clothes, and sleep on a hard floor. The point wasn't to punish oneself, but to ask the question, is this the condition that I so feared? By experiencing a little voluntary discomfort, we rob misfortune of its power. We learn that we are more resilient than we think. You don't have to go to such extremes. You can practice this mentally. Take a moment each morning. What if you lost your job today? It would be difficult, yes. But could you survive? You'd update your resume, you'd call on your network, you'd find a new path. You would endure. What if you had a health scare? You would seek the best medical advice and focus on recovery one day at a time. By calmly and rationally thinking through these worst-case scenarios, we do two things. First, we strip them of their terror. Fear thrives on the unknown. By shining a light on it, we often find it's not the monster we imagined. Second, and perhaps more importantly, it fills us with an immense sense of gratitude for the present moment. When you spend a moment contemplating what it would be like to lose something, you appreciate its presence so much more. Your health, your family, your home, the simple fact that you are breathing. These things become gifts, not givens. This practice turns the volume down on anxiety about the future and turns the volume up on appreciation for the now. The final exercise I want to share in this section is perhaps the most practical of all journaling. Not the Dear Diary, here's what happened today kind of journaling, but a philosophical journal, a tool for self-examination. This is exactly what Marcus Aurelius's Meditations was. He wasn't writing for an audience, he was writing for himself to reinforce these principles in his own mind. At the end of the day or in the morning, take just 10 or 15 minutes. Ask yourself a few simple questions. Where did I fall short today? What did I do well? When did I let my emotions get the better of me? When was I controlled by something outside of my control? What could I have done differently? The goal here isn't self-criticism. It's gentle, honest self-reflection. It's about reviewing the day's events through a Stoic lens. For example, I got very angry when my colleague criticized my report. Why? Because I was seeking their approval, which is an external. My report, the work I put in, was within my control. Their reaction was not. Next time, I will focus on doing my best work and accept their feedback calmly as simply information. This practice is like reviewing game footage for an athlete. It allows you to see your patterns, to understand your triggers, and to consciously decide how you want to respond in the future, rather than just reacting on autopilot. It is a profound conversation with the most important person in your life, yourself. Over time, this practice builds self-awareness and strengthens your ability to choose your response in any given situation. These three exercises the view from above. Negative visualization and philosophical journaling are not quick fixes. They are practices. They are the daily workouts for your mind. They won't make your problems disappear, but they will fundamentally change your relationship with them. They create a buffer between an event and your reaction to it. And in that buffer, in that space, lies your freedom and your peace. We have now looked inward at the tools we can use to train our own minds. But how do we take this newfound perspective and apply it in the messy, unpredictable world of our jobs, our relationships, and our daily lives. How do we interact with a difficult boss or a challenging family situation using these principles? That is the crucial next step, and it is where we will go in our final part together. We will bridge the gap between our inner fortress and the outside world. Hello and welcome back. In our journey so far, we've explored the core of Stoic wisdom, focusing only on what we can control, and we've learned some practical internal exercises to cultivate a state of calm and resilience. We've worked on our inner world. Now it's time to take these tools and walk out into the daylight, because the ultimate test of any philosophy is not how it makes us feel when we are sitting alone in quiet contemplation, but how it helps us live and interact with others in the real world. This is where Stoicism becomes a true guide for life, especially in the high-pressure environments of our work and our personal relationships. Let's start with the workplace, a place where many of us experience the highest levels of stress. Imagine you have a micromanaging boss. They constantly check your work, question your decisions, and fill your day with anxiety. The old you might have reacted with frustration, resentment, and constant stress. The Stoic in training, however, pauses. You apply the dichotomy of control, your boss's personality and management style completely outside of your control. You cannot change them. Fighting this reality is a recipe for misery. So what is within your control? The quality of your work, the clarity of your communication, your professionalism, your patience, your choice not to take their behavior personally. You can focus on delivering excellent work, on providing clear and proactive updates to preempt their anxiety, and on maintaining your own calm demeanor. You can see their micromanagement not as a personal attack, but as a reflection of their own fears and insecurities. And this doesn't make their behavior acceptable, but it diffuses its emotional power over you. Your goal shifts from, I need to make my boss change, to I will be excellent and composed within this difficult situation. You act with virtue and integrity because your character is one of the few things you truly own. This is how you reclaim your power and your peace in a situation that once felt powerless. Or consider a different scenario. You're passed over for a promotion you felt you deserved. The natural reaction is disappointment, anger, maybe even envy. A Stoic would allow themselves to feel these initial emotions. Remember, we are not robots, but they would not let them fester. They would analyze the situation through the lens of control. The final decision made by the committee outside your control. The biases or preferences of the decision makers outside your control. What is within your control? Your response. You can seek constructive feedback to understand where you can improve. You can redouble your efforts and skills development. You can congratulate your colleague with genuine grace. You can use this setback as what the Stoics called a dispreferred indifferent, something you didn't want to happen, but which ultimately has no bearing on your character or your capacity for virtue. You can even practice the concept of amor fati, a love of one's fate. This is an advanced idea, but a powerful one. It's the practice of not just accepting, but embracing everything that happens, seeing it as fuel. Perhaps this setback is the very thing you need to push you to develop a new skill, or to realize that this isn't the right career path for you, opening the door to something even better. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. The obstacle becomes the opportunity. Now let's bring these ideas home into our personal lives, which can be just as if not more challenging. Think about a difficult family member. We all have them. Someone who criticizes your choices, offers unsolicited advice, or creates drama. For years, you may have been caught in a cycle of arguing, feeling misunderstood, and getting deeply frustrated. The Stoic approach is to once again draw the line. That person's opinions, words, and actions are theirs. They are not in your control. Trying to change their mind is like trying to command the tide. It's exhausting and futile. What is in your control is your boundary, your response, and your emotional investment. You can choose to listen politely without engaging in an argument. You can choose to calmly state your position once and then change the subject. You can choose to limit your exposure to them if necessary. You are not responsible for their happiness, and you are not obligated to win their approval. Your obligation is to act with kindness, patience, and integrity, to be a good person regardless of whether they are behaving well. This is incredibly liberating. It frees you from the emotional roller coaster of other people's behavior. Ultimately, what all of these examples show is that Stoicism is not about passive acceptance. It's about active acceptance of what you can't change, so you can direct all of your energy toward what you can. It's a philosophy of action, but of wise and focused action. It is the art of knowing the difference. Think of someone like James Stockdale, a US Navy pilot who was a prisoner of war in Vietnam for over 7 years. He was tortured repeatedly and held in brutal conditions. He later said that the one thing that got him through was his study of Epictetus. He knew he couldn't control his captors, the length of his imprisonment, or the physical pain he endured, but he knew he could control his own mind, his own will, his own character. He refused to be broken internally. He held on to his integrity. That was his inner fortress, and it could not be taken from him. While this is an extreme example, it is a profound testament to the power of this philosophy to provide strength in the face of unimaginable adversity. So where do we go from here? We have traveled from the anxious reality of modern midlife to the ancient wisdom of the Stoics. We've learned the foundational principle of control. We've practiced mental exercises to build our resilience, and we've seen how to apply this wisdom at the office and at home. And the journey does not end here. In fact, it is just beginning. My invitation to you is not to become a perfect Stoic overnight. It is simply to begin. The next time you feel that familiar spike of stress or anger, just pause. Ask the question, is this within my control? Try journaling for 1 week. The next time you feel overwhelmed by your to-do list, take 2 minutes to try the view from above. This is a lifelong practice, a gentle and continuous training of the mind. It's about finding freedom not from the world, but within it. It's about building a quiet, unshakable core of peace and strength that will see you through the pressures of work, the challenges of life, and the inevitable storms that come our way. It is about learning to be, as Seneca wrote, a master of yourself. Thank you for spending this time with me today. I hope this has been a source of comfort and inspiration for you. Be well and be kind to yourself on the path.